most of you know me, but if you don't, I'm Randy Ebel. I'm the college counselor here. We're going to actually switch gears a little bit and speak about mental health and how it affects people in the music industry. So I had the pleasure of speaking to Jerry Wanda before he actually came out to speak with you, and he is very into mental health and trying to end the stigma. So he works with, just in case anybody wanted to know, he works with Roundhouse Meditation. There's an app that he created music for. He says that he starts his day by meditating before he gets out of, before he goes and, starts his work. He is grateful for what he has. He also, uses the gym as stress relief. So I'm going to ask now that the panel introduce themselves. You can't, and they will speak about, mental health in the music industry.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. My name is Nicole Blonder. I'm a 25-year veteran of the music industry. I was a long-term VP of Marketing and Project Management at an independent record label called Mute, and I've worked as a freelancer on events for the last 7 years. At the same time, I've been trained as an integrative health coach, and I work with artists, people in the music industry, organizations on issues of work-life balance, stress management, burnout, and just optimizing your lifestyle so that you don't burn yourself out through hustle and all of the music industry and artist lifestyle pitfalls. So really happy to be here.
Hey everybody, thank you for attending. My name is Mike Heiliger. I also go by Mike Joseph. I've worked in the music industry since 1993. Currently working in the distribution sector, but I've worn many different hats. In addition to my work in the music industry, I am a life and relationship coach, and I am a podcast host and producer.
Hi everyone, my name is Suze Federini. I'm the founder of the Rockstar Advocate. I am also a licensed therapist here in New York, and I work with musicians and managers and other people in the industry that, just need help, need support. Before being a licensed therapist, I was a productivity and growth mindset coach for people in the industry, which was not something that existed maybe a decade ago, but has now become, a lot more commonplace in the industry because it's really difficult to wear all these hats. I know the students that got up and spoke to Jerry, you guys had multiple roles that you all did, and it's hard to keep track of all of that. So years ago, about 8 years ago, my friend and I created the Rockstar Life Planner, and it's a planner, a yearly planner that we sell for people in the music industry to help work on your mindset, stay focused on what you're working on, and just slow down. As Jerry said, there might be a lot to do and you might want to stay on top of everything, but in order to speed up, you actually have to slow down. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
So I just wanted to start off by asking, why do you think there is such a stigma when it comes to mental health and getting services in the music industry? Anyone?
I don't think that stigma is exclusive to the music industry. I think that stigma exists everywhere. I think that, we still live in a world where experiencing or admitting that you have any kind of mental health challenge or mental wellness challenge is seen as a weakness. Nobody wants to admit that nobody wants to be perceived as weak. So I think that just keeps people from speaking about it openly and honestly. But I also think that over the last 10 years, there's been a much more open conversation about mental health and, the stigmas being erased and it's being more normalized to talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I also think it's this whole suffer for your art or, sleep when you're dead or, all of these things get promoted, especially in creative industries and film and in music. And, as Jerry had pointed out, if you don't have it, somebody else will. Okay, but there's also going to be other opportunities too. So we have to look at both sides of it. Yes, we want to be ready, but some days you might be ready and some days you might not be. And you have to honor that and say, okay, today I wasn't ready, but I can be ready next time, but I have to give myself some grace. The answer is not, oh, I wasn't ready, so I'm a failure, I suck, I can't do this, and then we spiral into, a dark place when really we're human, we're just doing the best we can.
And I think also that there's a lot of pressure for people there's a lot of pressure to look good, you're successful, however you want to project yourself. And for people who are thinking that way, I think that there's not a lot of room for imperfection, and there is also a lot of pressure to be authentically you. And so how do you put those two things together and share, what you're actually going through and also present your best self? So there's a lot of things to figure out in there, but I think that's why, because people don't want to come across as imperfect in some way.
Do you think it's more difficult for people in the music industry to find the mental health treatment and the mental health help due to their scheduling and things of that nature?
I think the most difficult thing, I mean, like Mike was saying, like 10 years ago, this was not really a conversation we could have. I mean, I remember trying to pitch to different conferences, like, hey, could we talk about mental health? And was not happening. It's only in the last couple of years, maybe even right before the pandemic, that conferences started having these conversations. And I think, I think now that might be a little bit easier, that we could talk about it and give people resources. But the real pragmatic situation is that, when you guys tour, right, a therapist is going to say, oh, are you not in New York? Like, sorry, can't meet with you this week. Or, sorry, you'll have to find a new therapist. And so it's difficult because insurance and state lines and all this stuff. But now there are more therapists realizing what a need there is in the music industry. And so they're kind of moving over to coaching. And they are very different things. Like, coaching and therapy are different. But, they're allowing themselves to be called a coach so that they can meet with them. The problem is that insurance isn't paying for it, and then it's out of pocket, and then it's so the accessibility and being able to pay for therapy is a blockade. And I know, at least in the social work arena, they're really looking at national licenses so that can stop.
Can you discuss what the difference between a therapist and a coach is?
Sure. So a coach, which I was for many years, was and I love it and I still do it. And coaching is wonderful. We're all coaches here. One is not worse or bad or better. The difference, though, is coaching is very much like guiding you what to do and giving you the steps and kind of training you and working through plans with you and strategizing with you, where therapy is more self-guided. And therapists, my supervisor, I'm a newly licensed therapist just a year in, and my supervisor is constantly like, oh, you were coaching. Like, stop, it's more about letting you uncover what your answers are. I'm not there to tell you what your answers are. And they're both are valuable. I've hired coaches during my lifetime, and they were unbelievably valuable to my career. And I've also been in therapy for 20 years, and that's been invaluable to my career. So they each have a home. Yeah.
Anybody else?
She covered it.
Yeah, she nailed it.
All right. Just making sure that no one else has.
Yeah, no.
So, reading about all of you, the theme here was really how to maintain a healthy work-life balance in the music industry. Can you guys touch a little bit upon that and what you feel might be beneficial to someone who's either starting out or already, in their career?
Well, there's a lot of different parts to this, right? So there's work and there's life and how they come together. And I think foundationally for me, and we've all talked about this together many times, it's really having a boundary for yourself between your work and your life in some way. So sort of protecting who you are as a person and your physical health and your mental health, while you're also pursuing your passions and your interests. And that's a really sort of broad statement, but that means making sure that you're eating, getting enough sleep, maintaining your relationships outside of music. There's a lot of different pillars that are sort of central to the work that I do as a holistic health coach and ways to kind of keep yourself balanced. But I think that's what I'll start with, and they'll have lots to add.
Yeah, I think there's so many ways to get caught up, right? Like, there's the cult of personality, there's social media, there's, scrolling through and seeing, like, people talking shit about your art. There's all of this stuff. And I think it's really important to recognize that, you are not what you do. Like, it's really important to have something separate from your career, and burnout is super, super real. I've experienced it, might even be currently experiencing it. Like, burnout is super real, and it's important to, like, recognize that and then be able to advocate for yourself. And say, hey, like, I realize, particularly if you're an artist, like, I realize that, the success of a lot of people depends on me right now, but I'm gonna let y'all be adults and look out for y'all, and I'm going to hit stop right now because I need to take care of myself. So it's really important to just recognize that within yourself.
And I think it's so hard in this industry to talk about work-life balance because how many of you feel like your art is your life, right? Yeah. But every time, we're on panels like these and we talk to each other and we talk to other, experts and professionals in the industry, they will all tell you, find a hobby outside of music. And it doesn't mean you're always going to have time for it, right? You might be working on an album and like that is your baby right now and you're putting all your energy into it. But after that, like make sure you go spend some time with your friends, or if your friends are planning a vacation, like try your best to go out with them. I can't tell you, in my 20s it was like I went to Drexel. I had a few friends that went here. I went to Drexel and we both all did music industry programs, and it was like, no, this is our life and we're gonna get out. And I got out in 3 years, and then I got at Atlantic Records, and then I was at EMI and didn't go on friend vacations and didn't go to my friends' birthdays and skip family holidays and all that stuff. And then who was there to support me or help me or cheer me on when I had stuff going on? Nobody. And to me, that's what work-life balance is about understanding it's not just about you. And it's going to feel like that sometimes because there's so much pressure. Right? I got to get this song done. I got to work with this person. I got to network. I got to grow my career. But if you don't, again, slow down and stop for a second, none of this is worth anything.
I want to add just one more thing. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say that in order to put your all into your art and to do your best work and to kind of show up as the artist you want to be, you have to kind of take care of yourself in all these other ways. So don't live on caffeine. If you need to have a couple late nights, understandable, that's going to happen. But make sure that you can kind of get sleep and get rest, wherever you can. So you're not going to you're going to have inconsistent days. But if you don't kind of take care of the fundamental, like who you are at your core, then you won't have that energy and that creativity to put into your music.
Yeah, I was also just going to say, everybody glamorizes the hustle.
Right.
And look, my parents were immigrants, came into this country in the 70s, firstborn American. Like, I understand work. And I've been part of the professional world since I was 17 years old. Went straight out of high school into a job, have not stopped working since. Like, there's something to be said for the hustle, but also understand that there's going to be a point when you need to balance that out. And every day, every night, particularly in the music industry, whether you're a creative or whether you're on the corporate side, there's this glamorization of being up late at night all the time, drinking, doing drugs, all this other stuff. But then you look back, if you're an artist, you look back in history, Whitney dead, Prince dead, Juice WRLD is dead, and all these people OD'd. They took the hustle too seriously. They took the cult of personality too seriously, and they lost themselves in the process. So I think it's really important to step back and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I think it's all of the amazing accolades and the achievements that Jerry was, listing, and it's it blows your mind to think oh my God, one person did all of that. Oh my goodness, but he couldn't have predicted that when he first started. And the thing of the matter is, we have to really think of this as a long, if you love this, if you want to do this for a living, you got to think of the long game. You can't, you don't want to think of, Mike just listed off people, you don't want to be in the 27 club, right? You don't want to be those bright stars that burn out at 27 and they're gone and they're not with us anymore. Okay, great, yeah, we still honor them, we love their music, but that's all we have.
Appreciate it.
They're not here to appreciate it, we're never going to get more from them. So play the long game. And, I'm with Mike, it's born and raised Queens, I hustled. I wore it like a badge of honor until my body shut down on me. And then it was what good was all of that hustle for nothing? Because I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything. And then I built back a full-time business working 4 hours a day in 6 months. And it was because I was intentional with those 4 hours. If that's all my body could do, I wasn't going to do all this busy work that was nonsense and trying to talk to everybody. Instead, I focused on who was I going to speak to today and how was I going to make that connection worthwhile for the 4 hours that I had before I had to go back to bed. And doesn't mean that I only work 4 hours a day now. No, but for when I had to, I made it super intentional. And I think that's what we're all trying to say
Yeah,
up
just
here.
one more thing to what you're saying, Suze, is also kind of pay attention to the signals that your body's sending you. If you feel like you're starting to burn out, if you feel things are starting to go in not in a great direction, address it before it gets too bad, because once it gets too bad, it will take you even longer. Like Susan's
Right.
saying, she got to a point where she could only work 4 hours a day because she was that exhausted. And we've all been through similar things, which is why we all do this work.
Yeah, your body
So we
will
try to
stop
pass it
you.
on to you. Yes, your body will stop you, and not in a way that you want. So
Right.
don't ignore the signs, and if you need help, ask for it.
Do any of you have any health routines or suggestions of how they keep a healthy lifestyle and to keep on track with something like that?
So many.
Yeah, I
Where to
think
begin?
different
Throw 'em
different things
out.
work for different
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I think we're all individuals. We all have different minds, different bodies, and for some people it could be meditation. For some people it could be journaling. I am a huge proponent of therapy or coaching, whatever you want to call it. Speak to a professional. It could be just taking time out at the for a couple hours every day and watching like the Knicks game or something like that. Like you have to figure out what works for you and then do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like tapping, which is, you might know it as EFT or tapping. You could look it up. There are free apps. The tapping solution is the one I use. But I like it because meditation for me, I mean, I don't know if I have ADHD. Maybe I do. I don't know. Most of us, I'm sure, have some of it to some extent with the way devices make our brains these days. But, meditation for me, I get too antsy. And I can't calm myself. But with tapping, you're using your fingers and you're doing these 9 points around your upper body, that it helped me focus. And for me, tapping worked. But for somebody else, meditation is for them, as Mike said, journaling. So you have to find what works for you. But for me personally, I know you mentioned Knicks games. Like, I know I got to watch my Law and Order. Like, I need that hour of, like, the dun-duns to just, remind me that, like, my life is not that bad.
I love that, Suze. I'm a really big fan of morning routines. Whatever that is for you, whatever that means for you in a really flexible way. So for me personally, that means like drinking a big glass of water with lemon every morning so that I know that I'm hydrating first thing, because actually overnight when you sleep, your body gets really dehydrated, especially during this season in fall. You might notice you feel really dry. And so I do that. I do some form of like movement in the morning, whether it's a short walk or yoga or just stretching, like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever I have time for. And, something to kind of like center me and ground me before I kind of launch into our day, because a lot of us are like launching into our day. We're having coffee before we're even awake. And not even thinking about what do I have to do today? How do I get myself ready? I always eat breakfast. I'm a big breakfast person. Not everybody is, but I'm a big fan. I always advocate for breakfast that has protein and fat in it so that you can actually fuel your body to keep your energy for whatever is coming next. So whatever combination of those things are, even if you have to grab like a protein bar or an apple or, something, I always advise people to kind of lead with that before you caffeinate, because it actually helps the caffeine kind of do its job better if you actually eat. So that's my whatever amount of time you have in the morning, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, find something that you can do for yourself every day to kind of help center yourself. And, I always advocate for not being on your phone first thing in the morning too.
So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to touch upon that you could think about. If not, I could open it up to questions from the audience.
Yeah, happy to take questions if
Okay.
anybody has questions.
Oh. All right, do we have a mic that I could?
I can hear you.
Hello?
There you go.
My name is Frankie, and pretty much my question is kind of like, how do you know the signs of being burnt out? I know, like, obviously your body telling you, but I don't know if I've been burnt out, but I feel like I always running on fumes because I always have so much going on. I'm doing a lot of stuff outside of school, music, like I'm doing 1,000 things at once. So I find a way to get through the days and keep on going, but how do I know if it's like really a burnout?
My favorite way to describe it is that like you're not you. Like if you're usually a chill person, you're snapping at everybody, or for me, I mean, as a female, for me, it's very common to my PMS. So I know that if it's not the right time for it, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm hitting burnout because I'm super irritable. I'm snapping at everybody. But the biggest thing for me that cues me in is that the things I love, I'm starting to resent them, like a lot. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to meet with a client today. Like, oh, I got problems too. Well, I love working with my clients. Like, so if that's hitting me, then I need to take a break. Do you guys have anything in terms of burnout?
No, but you just made me realize something about myself, so thank you.
Yeah. I think it's also if you just don't even have the energy to do anything
Right.
at all, or you're feeling like it's more than the usual tiredness. It's like one step beyond, and you're like Sue said, you don't feel like yourself. And it can be a very fine line. So I think that any tool that you can use to just tune into your body, check in with yourself every day, even keep a little journal of how you're feeling so you can see when things start to get worse.
Hello, I'm Aaron Jones, and my question is, how do you recognize when your work is starting to impact your mental health?
Wow.
That's a good question.
Yeah, you stumped everybody.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's a really good question.
I think
Yeah.
when work consumes your thoughts, like when work consumes your thoughts, even when you're doing things that are like pleasurable to you, if you're used to like zoning out and like listening to music or I keep going back to the example of watching this game because I'm salty about last night. And you're thinking about like, oh, I have this thing to do tomorrow. I got this thing to do tonight. Like whatever. That's when and like it's healthy to think about it, but when it's overpowering your thoughts, I think that's when things have kind of like stepped across the line.
Yeah, and when it's starting to infiltrate your time with others, like I legit yesterday came back from my honeymoon and my husband was like, why are you answering emails right now? Like a couple days ago, I was like, I got one. I'm like, all right, this is quick. Let me just do it. And, and he was putting together his breakfast. So like, I had 2 seconds. I'm like, I'll just get this done. He's like, are you seriously working right now? I'm like, he's like, you teach this. Like, you teach people how not to do this. And I was like, you're right. But like, it had been 3 years since I've been like really away from my work. And I was like, whoa, okay, it's affecting me. So yeah.
I'll add to that. It's really important to have people around you who can hold you accountable.
Yes.
Because when you're trying to like mentally bullshit yourself into thinking that things are a certain way, they will tell you the real deal. So it's really important to have like good people around you, whether it's a partner or a family member or friends or whatever, that will let you know when you're starting to like slide off the ledge a little bit.
Definitely.
I think also if you start to notice that you're feeling different, like why am I feeling this way? Depressed, anxious, a kind of a change, and you can kind of sit with it and try to connect it to like what's changed, what's different, or like you're saying these repetitive conversations about work are going on in your head, then you can start to make the connections and realize where it's coming from, because you might feel that way and it could be because of something else. It could be because of relationships or something else going on in your life. So you kind of have to have that awareness and then kind of stop, give yourself some space to either by yourself or reflect with a therapist or a coach or somebody to kind of recognize like what's going on for me and how is it impacting me. I hope that's helpful.
Hello. My name is William. I'm a student here. I have a question. So how do I know when I guess need a coach? What can a coach actually provide, especially someone who's an artist and an engineer? How do I know when I need one?
So my humble opinion is that everybody needs a therapist. If you think you don't need a therapist, you need a therapist more. None of us is perfect. We all have different things in our lives or in, amidst our relationships that we need work on. So if you can, the real barrier to entry is cost. But if you have insurance and you can afford a therapist, get a therapist. If you've got the resources and you can get a therapist or a coach, get a therapist or a coach. Like there's no, I need somebody, or there's no, I'm going to get to the point when I need somebody. You need somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think if you're looking, like for me, for a coach, I mean, I invested a ton of money when I started my business. I was already 10, 11 years in the industry, and I was just spinning my wheels. Like I was throwing spaghetti at the wall and like just nothing was working. And so for me, I got to a point where a coach, unlike a therapist, is going to be able to say, here's your blueprint. Let's build one together. Let's build out, like, this is your blueprint. Here's what you're going to do. And is like career specific. Like a coach is there on wellness, like holistically, like you can work on your nutrition or your sleep, where a therapist is more about how you navigate the world. A coach is gonna be like, how do you build A, B, or C? And so with a coach, I was like, I want to sidestep all the mistakes that I know I'm gonna make. You're still gonna make mistakes, but a coach has likely been through it already and is gonna be like, okay, you're investing to get some of the answers to get you started and really build momentum. I look at a coach as like giving you the momentum to get to the next step.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more goal oriented. So if, like Stu said, you're spinning your wheels, or you're sort of like, I want to get to this place, whether it's a career transition or a next stage in your career. I specifically focus on people's health and wellness. So if you're like, I know I need to make a change, I want to do it, I'm committed to it, but I really don't know what to do, or I don't know how to figure this out. Like someone can help to provide the path, the accountability, resources, and actually kind of like hold your hand and be your partner in this step as you work towards refining what your goals are, and then kind of figuring out a plan for yourself to meet them. It's very individualized support,
Right.
but it's more goal oriented.
Thanks, guys.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we have time for one more.
Hi, my name is Sabrina. My question is, how do you prioritize? More specifically, like, for instance, if you have like a Thursday night or whatever night, and then you have like 3 things that are kind of asking for your attention, like, I'm really tired, I should rest, I have homework to do, and there's this event that I really should go to because like all these other artists are going to be there and they asked me to sing and like fuck, like, so, oh, sorry, no cursing, sorry. So how do you prioritize? Yeah.
As Nicole said, it's really about goals. So when I have something like that, I just go make a list of like, all right, so what are those 3 things? What's my ultimate goal right now? Like, what's my main focus? And then where do those 3 things fit into that goal? And as soon as one doesn't, that gets crossed off the list. That's not a priority for right now. And the thing is, you guys are going to get opportunities all the time, right? Opportunities, that's all. Doesn't mean the right one. It could be a great opportunity, but is it a great opportunity for you? So you have to say, well, does this align with my goals? That networking event might be awesome, but if right now your main priority is passing your class so you can get on to next semester, there'll be other networking events. So you have to decide for yourself, I just do like a pros and cons list. I grab a piece of paper and I just jot it down. Like, what are these things? What are the pros and cons? And which one is going to serve my immediate goal the best right now? That's how I approach it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, list making is, I think, important to a lot of different parts of life. I'm a big fan of lists, but I also think it's really important to like operate from an abundance mindset as opposed to operating from a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
Like, that one opportunity probably isn't going to be the only opportunity you will ever get over the course of your life. So then you have to prioritize what means the most to me at this particular time. What is the thing that I can least afford to not do? That's a double negative. I hope there are no English professors here. And then just kind of like pull stuff out, and that'll kind of answer your question for you. If you're like, okay, I want to do this, but at the end of the day, it's not really that important, then, remove it, and then you're going to be left with the thing that is most important to you that you need to do the most.
I think I'll also say, using the example that you gave, if you are so tired that you're really not your best self and you want to push yourself to go out to a networking event, are you going to show up there being as tired as you are you going to show up as your best self?
Right.
Because you always want to present yourself in the best foot. And if you're just like, bedraggled and thinking about your homework and you show up there, it might not be worth your time, right? So that's how you kind of figure out your priorities. And it's okay to say no to stuff. Like Sue says, like, these are all possibilities. You can't say yes to everything. It's not possible. So be okay with saying no to stuff and knowing that you made the choice that was best for you in that day.
Mm-hmm.
And also not having to explain your no's. I love this. A no is a whole sentence.
Yes.
Okay, hello.
I think we have one last question.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
adjunct professor here, Taiwana Williams. I teach advertising. I just want to say on the coaching part, because that's what I do as well. Remember, coaching is strategic. It's 3 months, 6 months, 18 months. Is if anything over than that, and you need a new coach. Because you need therapy. You need a therapist,
Right.
but you don't need a coach because coaching is strategic. It's for the end game. If you're not thinking about an end game, go to a therapist.
That's a
Okay?
great point.
All right.
Good point.
Thank you for that.
Good point to end on. Good. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
Thank
Good
you.
questions. Good luck out there.